Selection. That one, Alex Warren's Ordinary, right here on Pure West, and Sam Fender to play you in a little bit as well. Lots of guests on today's show. It's a very busy one. I do have from For the Region, I do have the lovely Dawn Lyle joining us in a few moments ahead of her event. It's Your Pembrokeshire at the Queen's Hall on the 14th of May, helping many business owners right here in the county. Also joining us from the Milford Haven Round Table, I've got Bomber, as they've got the big beer festival in Milford Haven at the end of the month. And on the first Wednesday of each and every month right here on Pure West, I've got the pleasure of catching up with various volunteers from Picton Castle Gardens. This is my new favourite destination here in Pembrokeshire, as it is just breathtakingly beautiful, whether you're out in the walled gardens, on the fairy trail, or in the most magnificent castle. There is just so much to see and do. It really is fabulous. And on the first Wednesday, I have the pleasure of chatting to a few of the volunteers that actually work at Picton Castle. I've got Anne-Marie Thomas and Annie Owston joining us here in the studio this morning. Good morning, ladies. Lovely to have you on the show.
Hello.
So first up, Anne, tell us a little bit about what you do at Picton Castle.
Well, we're a group of about 18 volunteers from the Art Society of West Wales, and we've been looking at all the books in the library, the lovely room you described in the circular.
Oh, it's stunning, isn't it? It's beautiful.
Lovely. And so there are about 1,000 books, and we've been cleaning them, repairing them, and recording them on a database so that it's possible to know exactly what's there. And then we've included the books that are in the rest of the library, rest of the castle, in the Great Hall and upstairs. And at last we're attacking the books from what's called the Muniments Room.
Okay.
Which is, I think, where plans and maps have been kept. But in fact, they're mostly old books. And very dusty they are too.
I mean, this library area that they're all housed, I mean, it is beautifully stunning. It's one of the only circular libraries in Europe.
Is that right?
It's incredible, yeah.
Oh, right.
So it's only one of a handful, I believe, in the United Kingdom.
I didn't know it was that special.
Yeah, it's very unique. And I mean, it's beautiful when you're in there and you're just surrounded with all these books. And how old are these books, Anne?
Well, some of them are sort of 16th century, but mostly incredible. 18th and 19th century, I think. And it's strange to think that people used to read such a lot more than we read now, and really quite serious stuff, history,
philosophy, isn't it?
Yes, and a lot of works in Latin and foreign languages. The people were very well read and very well educated, I think.
Yeah,
at least going by the books that they were looking at. Some of them haven't even been opened, I have to say.
Wow, incredible. Why did you want to be a volunteer at Picton Castle Gardens? What intrigued you?
Well, it's obviously a lovely building, and the subject of conservation of books and preservation of our history is quite an important one for the Art Society, which is why we wanted to work with Picton Castle. Everybody's interested in the books. It's sometimes difficult to get on with the job rather than read the books. and the lovely drawings and the plates and the maps inside is fascinating. And a great privilege to be able to do that work for the castle and for the people of Pembrokeshire too.
Yeah, it's magnificent. And Annie, I know my mother quite well actually. First thing you said, I don't use it to this high. It's incredible. So how do you know Mum?
Well, we have mutual friends. I've known her for a long time.
Yeah.
And your father as well. But yes, yeah. When you live in Pembrokeshire, it's everybody, don't you?
This is it. Or you're always one step away from someone that you know, or you're related to, in fact. So Annie, tell us about your role then at Picton Castle. What do you do as a volunteer?
Well, I volunteer with Anne in the library work on the books. We do that every other week. We have 4 groups and we meet regularly. But I also work as a castle steward. I do one afternoon a week. I greet visitors to the castle and tell them the history of the castle if they want to know. Yes. Otherwise, leave them alone to wander through, because we have got a note in every room telling them about the castle and who lived there. And that's what people are very interested in, is the history of the castle, when it was built, who lived there, and who was last living there. Yes, they like to know about the Phillips family.
Yeah. I mean, it's a remarkable space, isn't it? I mean, it's incredible. Do you have a favourite room?
The library.
It's a library. I mean, the dining room for me, and the living space. It's just, I mean, just to, go back to those years, and you could picture people living in that space. I mean, it's remarkable. You almost go in a time machine, don't you? Because it's so well preserved.
Yes, and the dining room and the drawing room are in what we laughingly refer to as the new wing. Yeah, mere 250 years old now. Yeah. But they were built for formal entertaining. And you can feel that.
You can.
I like the little, is it called the white drawing room?
And gold.
Yes, it's beautiful. A little bit more intimate, isn't it? And the scale of it is more, I suppose you might call it domestic.
I mean, really funny you saying about that, actually, because I think probably the biggest take back for when I took the children into the kitchen, they were like, well, where's all the appliances?
Oh, right.
And it's like, well, they didn't exist. They weren't even thought of. Everything was by hand, and yes, the manual labour of putting everything through the press, and the laundry, having to drain everything, and I mean, it's just,
there's some interesting displays of kitchen equipment down in the basement there. It's fascinating.
And then just going through the sort of the vast space that's down underneath in the basement. It's remarkable to think of the engineering feats that happened, and going back to the library as well, when you think about it, how they managed to create such a wonderful space for people to read.
Architecturally, it's quite interesting, the way that everything is angled and beautifully kind of fitted for that space.
So I've been well informed. You've nearly hit your target of 1,000 books.
Oh, well over.
Wow, well over 1,000 books that you've managed to sort of keep a record and rejuvenate. Or
we're nearing the end of the Muniments books. We've also done some work on the toy and games collection, which was donated by the Stimpson family, and so that's being recently displayed in another area of the castle. Quite interesting to see what games were being played in the Edwardian and Victorian times. Some fascinating games there. And we've, as volunteers, we also help with the bookshop, the new bookshop, sort of replenishing the shelves with books that have been donated. And so that's interesting, working with new books as well as working with the old.
I mean, it's relatively modern in the grand scheme of things, really. It was during, I think, the Second World War, but I was fascinated by Cluedo, and how the husband and wife had actually created the game of Cluedo because they love murder mystery, and it was like one of the original Cluedo games. I just thought it was fascinating how that was created during a blackout. There's just so much history to be told, isn't there?
Yeah, and I think that's part of the role of a place like Picton, is to explain the history to both visitors and young people from the county, so they have an appreciation of what it was like.
Is there anything you found, Danny, or anything you've come across and you've just been completely blown away with what you discovered?
What, in the library?
Well, anywhere in the castle, really.
Yes, I think one of their ancestors was rather notorious, and we found a book called The Apologia of Lady Teresa Phillips, and there was no apology in there at all. The lady lived her life the way she wanted to, several husbands, without bothering to get divorced.
We better leave that one there. It's daytime radio, but fascinating, and so many stories to discover whenever you do visit Picton Castle Gardens. Make it on your to-do list if you haven't been recently. Thank you ever so much to Anne and Annie for joining us here on the show today. Keep up the wonderful work as volunteers, and we look forward to catching up with you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank you.
popping in today. Absolute stars. Just the history never ceases to amaze me. Absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favourite places to visit. Picton Castle Gardens. Check out all the details on the website now. To book, to go and see the castle, the grounds. And make sure you check out some of those books as well whilst you're there.